That's what keeps them alive here in the LCK Cup. They'll make it to the play-ins. If that is the case, they could also be first place in the group and get themselves straight into the playoffs. They do know that he's in the area, and Chovy is back in base. Does have his Zerk Greaves.
He's gone all the way around, Canyon has here.
This is a bit sneaky.
They try to see him with Phthalates. Obviously, it can't reach.
Oh my goodness. Don't.
He could steal this.
Wait. No, there's no way. He's not going to get away with it. Oh, he didn't. Zekka's the one that locks it down as Canyon not even able to flash away. Emperor's Divide comes out, and First Blood will go over to Zekka on this Azir. And that one guy in chat that predicted First Blood got very close. Yeah, I think knew that if he had flashed over the back wall, he would have been okay, but wasn't able to get the bit of extra movement speed. As we're going between the worlds, Kanavi might be in a little bit of trouble. Does have the Crescent Guard as Zeus looking for the angle, goes all out as Canyon just dead again. And Keen just wondering what the heck to do. Maybe waiting for Chovy is going to be the option there as he flashes, does miss the Q, gets exhausted here. There's that tech you were talking about. Does need to rebind, but Chovy is just dead and Keen doesn't have the range. Kanavi, he's now sitting at 2-0-1, asking, okay, who was supposed to be the favorite here?
Yeah, that's for real.
The one playing Vi. That was Zeus being able to just stand beside him, make sure that he's going to be okay.
Zeus did a lot of work in that fight for an early game Cassante, but
an early game Cassante that's like 35 CS down.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily be going over there. As with these two minions trying to hold the wave, keep Gen.G's bottom lane as safe as possible. I mean, this is where the danger lies, right? Because this is the lane that is the most volatile, the most dangerous.
I don't think this is really where you want to try to fight me, my man. So he will look to get second dragon here, and will be successful. No contest, really.
Oh, another Cloud Soul as well. Feels good.
Loses a lot of the minions anyways. Like, he only gets 3, and they get the Herald potentially as a result.
Oh, now Delight holding onto his buttons, really wants to use that to try and go for an engage, but Chovy snaps back towards this Rift Herald, down to about 4,000. As we're going between the worlds, Keen is still very dangerous, and Zayas just getting poked down. Kanavi steals away the Rift Herald, but it's a 4-man Pop Blossom from Duro. He finds the angle, and Keen locks down Delight. Now Zayas going down solo. Emperor's Divide finds Ruler, but he flashes on top of Gumayushi. A gap closing. Azir ultimate. Are you insane, Ruler? And it's a double kill for Canyon. There's that team fight, and it's an ace for Duro.
On this one, but the setup I think was the bigger issue, and Gen.G had all of the control.
Yeah, let's have a look at this from Chovy's perspective, as was trying to block the eye for a moment here, but actually manages to get the outplay onto Kanavi as well. Flashes the win, becomes lightning, snaps back. Oh God, we didn't even notice that because there was a whole team fight happening to the south, and then all of a sudden Chovy just fully outplays Kanavi.
At least he knows that there are two things that he's really weak into, and he's trying to make sure he has the answer for both. He doesn't really have the answer for this Yone though, and that's a turret down just naturally. Doesn't want to side into the Aurora, I promise you that, but doesn't want to side into the Yone either. This Cassante pick just isn't working out, and the lead for Ruler is 2,000. Wow. As Chovy,
Kanavi looking for an angle there, does stop the ultimate from getting Chovy out of there, and that means that he's just dead. Kanavi puts the spear in, and so no side laning here for Chovy for the next little while.
On the cross map.
Oh. Well, let's see whether Zekka can survive, as he does avoid the Vault Breaker, but that means that Canyon doesn't touch him. And so they will just kill this turret. Pop Blossom picks up Zeus as he makes his way in, and now it's 3 versus 1 for him. In the meantime, Yunara is taking a turret in the mid lane, and Zeus is desperately running away. Just not now.
Ruler did have to expend his ult, so that's a small victory there as well. Kanavi, he does get the turret, and I think he should get out as well.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of damage being looked for here by Chovy before he snaps on back.
Something done here. We'll take out the bottom turret. The mid turret is, like you mentioned, so low that they think that they should be able to get that one anyways, which I think is a reasonable call, but they haven't gotten it just yet.
Yep, talking about this before, actually, the fact that Gen.G don't necessarily have a reliable front line. It has to be a fair bit of smoke and mirrors and poke to make this happen, as Flash out there from Duro has to get out of the way of Zeus, but there is the Drake just being taken. HLE just couldn't get into the brush, and face-checking this comp is so hard, right? Because Keen, he can do so much burst to whoever's going to be face-checking.
He's level 16, by the way, as is noted. He's about a level and a half up, but 2 levels up technically.
Well, that's ridiculous. As Emperor's Divide going to be used here as Chovy going to have to bounce his way out. Does get a big old shield as Delight catches up to him. Kanavi is running real fast. Oh, wind barely becomes lightning is now, yes. Chovy actually unbinds the soul, looks for the knock-up onto Zeka, doesn't find it. But like you were saying, yes, they can start Baron.
Like, that's you going to send 3 people to kill Chovy when this Yunara with IEs on the other side? I don't think so.
Well, Zeus is going to have to bring Canyon out of the pit, and he does so, and now the rest of Gen.G needs to zone Gumayusi. However, Canyon just gets back, smites the Baron, and that is going to be secured. Now Delight looking for an angle to get himself in, as Ruler bounces his way out. Pop Blossom connects onto Gumayusi, and he has to get himself out of there. Zeka gets into the fight as Ruler flashes out of the way, dashes to avoid getting knocked up by Delight, and down will go the Rakan. Canyon's getting chased down by Zeus and Gumayusi, but he just vault breaks his way out of there. How do they kill 1 in a 4 versus 5, take the Baron? In the meantime, Chovy's having a rest.
Gen.G just running circles around Hanwha right now. Hanwha will get the consolation mid-turret here, but
with this Baron, Chovy looking to dive underneath this inner turret. Plates are just falling left and right. And yeah, Ruler now with Last Whisper as well as his other 3 items. This is, you know, HLE have got another few opportunities. I don't think this game is going to be one of them, even though it is only a 5,000 gold lead. I think when the money is so firmly on Ruler.
Have opened up the mid lane completely. They'll get their 3rd Cloud Dragon of the game, put them on Soul Point.
This is a pretty good one here for Zeus. Gets himself an inner turret. It's going to pull back the gold a little. That is Soul Point, and they run really fast for.
I just don't know if Zeus, like, what is Zeus' function with this Cassante in this game? They do have to respond now. They're going to split it. I love this setup here for Gen.G. So much zoning, and while they threaten the Baron at the same time.
Oh, Duro looking for that angle between worlds goes Keen. As Zeus looking to just walk up, and they have to because this Baron's going down lower and lower. There's the quickness, but Delight is just stopped in his tracks, just shot down here by Ruler as the Crescent Guard does nothing. Chovy finds the ulti, and the flash in once again to take down Gumayusi. No one is dead on the side of Gen.G, and it is just Zeka trying to flap away with broken wings from this destruction of a team fight out of Gen.G. Yet another one around the Baron that they win. They are looking not to take down the Purple Worm.
A bunch of minions lost here in one of these solo lanes, right? Like Zeka's like, to get the top minions first so I kill this fast enough, maybe I get the mid minions. He's the only one alive. Had to use his teleport to retreat. But watch, now they're going to do the same thing here on this dragon.
Yep, Quadra, Cloud Souls. Kanavi goes in. Okay, looking for a little bit of an angle. There's a Pop Blossom, picks up 3 of them. The Yunara is down. Let's see whether Gen.G will have the damage. As Gumayusi will be taken out. It's a double kill for the Auroras. Chovy will be wiped out, but Keen's at full health. Can he get the rest of them? It looks like he might be. As there's the Quadra, and it's only Zeus left standing. And I don't think he's making it out. Pentakill for Keen here, and Gen.G will march victoriously to the enemy base.
First death, by the way, of the game. And they will walk straight up to the Nexus and take it out. And
every year, man, the Keen test just gets harder.
It does.
2026 is ludicrous.
Now, I guess with Guma, he died really quickly in that fight, so he's going to respawn. So I guess they cannot actually end right now.
Spell he throws out, though, and hits is just trillions of damage. It is revolting. Yeah, I mean, they threw the kitchen sink at him because he's so much of the team's DPS.
And then Kanavi's like, okay, wait, can I do something? He avoids that weirding, which was massive. It gave him the opportunity to potentially look for the smite. Unable to get it. Keen calls for the penta.
And he got nervous. That's why he missed at least one spell. And so Keen was absolutely fine. There's the snapback between worlds once again for Mr. Pentakill Man here, as they will be able to take down this inhibitor turret. Inhibitor already dead towards that bottom side. Exactly, it's so frustrating. Well, Keen has lost more health than he did in the last team fight. As Pop lost him, he flashes for it, finds 3, and there is a gorgeous snare as well. Keen's still doing so much damage, but now everyone is involved. They tried to kill Ruler. It didn't work this time around. That's another clean ace, and Gen.G will mop up these turrets and send us to a game number 2. And my goodness, it was a decent early start there for HLE, and then it just wasn't good at all.
It almost feels like Duro was like rotating around saying like, by the way, like, even if Bard wasn't available,
I could have played these things.
Yeah, I could have actually played these other things that are really strong as well.
Yep.
And the Gnar is going to be really critical for damage later on too.
Oh, Gumayusi down very low as we do have Canyon moving in. Magical Journey comes over as Ruler is looking a little bit worse for wear, but he still has barrier. He's fine. Gumayushi's dead for first blood, and Ruler still can press F if he's in any trouble.
I'm not entirely sure how this one really was sussed out by HLE, but they are in
Delight's like, take me back! Take me back, Gen.G! Never mind, I'm not allowed to do that as he gets taunted, and he will get taken down. Canyon with the knock-up, Chovy with the punch, and Canyon might be in a little bit of trouble now as Kanavi, that Magical Journey doesn't work the other way around, as Canyon should have just pressed the button again. That would have been very funny, but he's not able to do so. Versus Zeus is always just some of the best top lane League of Legends that you can see. All right, Duro will find a Cosmic Binding. There's a Magnastorm, collects Ruler there as the Tempered Fate comes through, but it's not enough. The Ignite is going to tick down, and that is going to grab that kill. I'm pretty sure it was Ignite anyway, but still the answer is here for Gen.G. Chovy no flash, so won't be able to get in there, but there's the knockup from Canyon, and the third Q nets him a double, and Gen.G's response is just better. I think it would have been a 1-for-1, as we're going to see it from Chovy's perspective. As he was looking to come down, he's ulting, and oh man, just barely.
Oh, that hurts.
Yep. Build damage instead of like the Ghost Blade Rapid Fire, which is just so sad when those items come in. This might be like, I don't know, like Collector Infinity Edge or some crazy stuff. Might be the Storm Surge that we've seen grow in priority.
Yeah, interesting tech, though. I didn't actually notice that. Like January 10th, you can't have Christmas decorations out anymore.
No. That is illegal. I think even Starbucks takes them down. That's all right. HLE looking for their first Drake of the game. Canyon is in position, just going to Umberly dash over. No way. Down here as well. Oh my goodness, they just walk in. It is going to be secured by Kanavi as the three-man taunt from Chovy is huge. The curtains have been called, and the bullet time is gigantic. Canyon will find the passive proc onto Guma, and the heroic entrance comes down. A triple knockup comes in again, but they are just barely not able to get these kills. Guma will finally go down, but it is a disaster for Gen.G, and HLE will take 4 off the map.
Between the Tempered Fate and the rest of the team and later team fights. So speaking of Duro.
Yeah, Tempered Fate going to come on through there to try and hold Guru in position. There's a Cosmic Binding as well as Canyon will get into melee range, and he's an Aatrox. He really likes that. That is going to be the Misfortune taking a rest. And Delight is also just taking too much damage. Ruler finds another bullet after reloading most of the fight, and will be able to take down the lady with horse pants.
Yep. Traveling pants back into the fountain.
Yeah, a little bit of a shame. As Chovy just gets cataclysmed. There is an orb. That's a shockwave. And Chovy, I think it's going to take some killing, but he's going to go down. As Rift Herald is going to be the next fight as well, by the looks of things.
Ruler in a good position here.
Delight comes out. We'll find a lot of damage. The Dancing Grenade does come on forward, so Delight's engage. A little bit muted now as Duro just moving up. Wandering towards them as Keen is also on a decent angle. That is the steal from Canyon. He finds it this time, and Delight also takes a nap. Heroic entrance to join Keen here, who just hops on top of Gumayusi to take him out. Kanavi finds himself surrounded by bad guys, and Ruler just walks away from Zeus. And now Zeker is in trouble. The curtains have been called, and Zeus realizes he has to block it, and it doesn't even matter. Deadly Flourish now is the end of this Renekton. And as soon as I say it, Gen.G just decide, no, we still are going to win that team fight. That puts us in position to win the game.
Yeah, it's that 15-minute timer, man, where Hanwha Esports fall apart. And every time.
I really thought that we made it to like 15 minutes and 34 seconds.
On his head, got 100 points.
That was a really good line, Wolf. Oh man, I really love that. As Keen is going to be in the Cataclysm, but he has Hop, so he's going to be okay from that. Meganar is not going to come in time, as now Canyon, 1 versus 3, doesn't really like this whole situation here, as he does try to Umberly dash away. There's the pullback. He does have so much healing, though, as Kanavi, oh no, it's another round of Qs. He misses the spear, and Canyon somehow 50%. They now look for another round of buttons, and they will be able to take him out. This Aatrox is very scary, but still, that is 2 for nothing.
Instead, enjoyed the pursuit.
Yeah, I think he was having a bit of fun, and probably is a lot more used to playing like Skarner every game, and is probably really psyched to now be playing something that does damage. Does need to be a little bit careful though, as that Storm Surge we were talking about is now completed alongside a Rapid Fire Cannon, so Ruler is pretty scary. Tempered Fate does nothing, but Delight is still very dead. Duro is going to be the one that Meep slaps him down. I mean, there is still absolute wombo combo potential here for the HLE composition. They can make it happen. The problem is...
They're losing vision and losing control to set it up, though.
And you need that in order to make things work. Otherwise, Bard just makes you look foolish. Like Duro just kind of has throughout this game. Zeus does manage to safely move himself over. There is some flanking going on here. A scary moment as Chovy waiting to press that R button. Will be able to do so at a moment's notice. Keen gets over the wall and won't have Mega Gnar. So that is a little scary. There's the steal. It's Ruler that takes it away somehow. Heroic entrance to come on in. There's the gargoyle drop. And then he gets the taunt onto everyone. Gumayusi just trying to create the position. And he does manage to do so. Double up. Takes down both solo lanes. And now Duro has to flash to get himself out of the way. Canyon doing the same thing. And the Umbral Dash, I think, might be enough. As the spear is not, and Ruler, he's got one more bullet, but that will not be able to take that one down. This game, you pointed it out already, 3-1-4. Does have his Cosmic Drive now put together as Chovy, having to deal with a whole lot of people.
5 people.
That's 5. Okay, that's too many. And so that is another kill going over to Zeka, 4-1-4 now.
Into our comp does Baron right now. I would feel really good about this for Hanwha Esports. Instead, it's to kill, but it's at the exchange of a turret on the other side of the map that they get for free. Free farming for Ruler in the mid lane as well. Still a positive thing, but not, I think, as big as they would have hoped.
Kanavi just watches his red buff die as Delight is going to discover Canyon. He may not be able to escape this one. It's down to 50%. Duro is going to make his way over as Gumayusi with another bullet time. Canyon's not in the Tempered Fate, and so he's going to be taken out. Cosmic Binding's good, though, and Ruler is able to get himself to safety. The Bard not so lucky, as Keen might need to try and get over towards his Baron, but he can't. He has no teleport, and so this should go to HLE.
Okay, so this time the pick leads to Baron. This time it's actually huge.
All right, 9 minutes on the clock, Wolf. HLE, so they need to win this in 9 minutes time.
I wasn't going to mention it until now, where the game state feels like they have a lead, like a firm lead.
All right, run it straight down the mid lane. All right, we are calling it on this team. KT nervously watching this, wondering whether or not they're the team that is going to be taking a little bit of a timeout. If HLE still going to lose this series, but do so with like 3-2 fashion or something like that, or able to win one.
To play this comp, when you have vision advantage, you just press R together. As they've shown, when Gen.G walks into an Orianna Shockwave, they press R together.
Oh, Keen does have his Gnar ultimate up and available. Can use it for another few seconds, but isn't quite able to. 34-43.
Yeah. Well, they got 6 to 7 minutes left here to close this one out.
Don't say those two numbers together, okay? Wolf? Yeah, Baron, they can win the game.
100%.
All right, Canyon possibly in a bit of trouble. Magnetstorm fires absolutely nothing unless you count the air, though, as Chovy also finds himself in an awkward spot. The curtains have been called here for Ruler. He does find Gumayusi with one of the shots as Zeka takes so much damage from that last bullet. Zeus is in the front line, but there is no follow-up. Shockwave's still there, bullet time's still there. There's still a lot of damage on the table here for HLE, but they are scattering, and they are not pressing their buttons. Deadly Flourish gets flashed out of Gumayusi, and now he'll press the button. He finds Duro to lock him down, and Ruler is going to be taken out. Zeka is so close to dead, but it's still going to be a gargoyle on the floor, and Gen.G are missing out on the rest of the fight. It's still going to be Canyon now, looking for an angle onto Zeus. He'll take him out with the help of Keen, who hits Mega, finds the Gnar, and takes out the jungler, as now Gumayusi's in melee range against Canyon.
It's
and
not
he makes
possible,
the rain,
Atlas.
but I just...
It's not possible.
Gonna get out? No, it's not.
It's not possible for them to end the game in time now. Position to get hit by it, so he does survive, but ultimately he has to back away. He can't actually join this fight, which ends up being a win for Gen.G as well.
Like another minute.
Yeah.
All right, HLE, let's try and get in there as okay. That is Zeus just taking way too much damage. Keen trying to get that Navar in order as Gumayusi's going to get put into the Tempered Fate. Magnetstorm to try and buy some time, and they dive on top of the Misfortune, and she's wiped out before she can press any buttons. Gen.G, I think they may have just done it again. The flash forward, Q1, 2, and 3. Is it going to come on in? That is the meat slap to slow him down. He's got another round of Qs, and Zeka is limping out of the way. Finally, Canyon locks it up. and it was looking like we were timing this game to see whether HLE could win quickly enough, but they may not win at all.
Yeah, they may lose before the time gets hit.
Wait, yeah,
They've got 8 seconds
34-43.
left, so I don't think
Gen.G, you don't have to worry about it, but it would be very funny if you won the game at exactly that time, as there it is, ticking over right now. So even if HLE defend, they're going to have to win another game in this series, and I have a feeling that this game is over, and match point is collected here for Gen.G. Everyone on HLE sweating just that little bit more profusely as they are staring down the barrel of elimination.
Well, I do think Hanwha Esports got the better draft here, to be honest. Now, they don't have a super strong front line, but Trundle can kind of become one to a certain extent for a brief period of time.
It's very funny. It does mean that if anyone ever walks into their jungle, they are just probably about to die. That's all right. Keen is going to be running away from Zeus here, which is going to be a theme throughout this game. First rake does go over to Gen.G though. We just want more video games. That's the priority.
They'll get the grubs, surely.
Well, Equalizer goes down. Keen is dealing with all of these things that are coming on through, but the Ram is going to come down. There's the knock-up as well, as Keen should be able to help take this kill down, but the Scrap Shield is going to buy a little bit of time. Finally, Zeus does fall as Kanavi comes in and eats the Ornn. Subjugate, pretty powerful.
What this
the
Ornn is
pillar
going to do.
placement was so good. As Ruler is dead, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to flash for some reason. Does have to grab it in the air. Does try. Oh my gosh! Yeah, does get the ward down. Moonlight Vigil comes on in, and Kanavi is just dead. Zeka finally makes his way forward, and the Aphelios will be taken down. But a 1-for-1 is not what I was expecting there.
Now. Ruler again.
Yeah, Ruler I think is just dead. He doesn't have any summoner spells. Kanavi makes his way down. The Lantern is almost blocked, but it doesn't quite work, as now Delight, Unbreakable Will comes on through, and Keen will throw out the Ram to take down the cow. That is going to do it. It's a fight in the farmhouse, as the hook is going to be picked up here onto Kanavi, but he's able to walk it off. Kanavi is going to still press Subjugate, feel really, really happy. Problematically though, Canyon is now 2-0. So this Pantheon is just so incredibly large. Chovy's teleported in, looking for an angle here as Zeus is on a ward. Gets poisoned there, and there is the exhaust down onto Canyon. They do manage to get the playback onto Delight, and he's just dead before the fight's even really started. It's the secure on the Dragon for Canyon as well, as Keen comes in. Equalizer placement is gorgeous though. Zeus is going to pay for it with his life as the Twin Fangs, they do come in, and Duro's going to be taken down. Zeka looks for the kill, but Canyon, he gets himself out. Chovy has enough health bar, and he's able to just kite this one forward. The poison is not going to connect, but this is just ridiculous. Trying to hit the Rune Prison onto Chovy, but they were like sharing too many picks. Sorry, he was trying to hit it on Canyon, but they were sharing pixels, or maybe he thought that he could like use the Flux Overflow to kill Canyon by default anyway.
I mean, I don't. Maybe he thought if we kill Chovy, we can actually maybe like group and take out the turret.
Yeah.
I think maybe that was the reason why he decided to target Chovy there.
And Chovy was maybe more of the threat. Maybe it's just like the I'm gonna get more out of this play sort of response.
Exactly, because Canyon
takes a turret.
He can't really, Canyon can't really, well, they don't have that lead anymore.
They do not. They in fact have a negative lead. Some would call it a deficit. As it's also a Chemtech ult. I thought it was going to be an Infernal, but here's a train. There's the knock-up. Hook is going to connect, and they'll just chain CC Kanavi. He does get so much of his health bar back though. Moonlight Vigil, not quite enough, and there's the bottom lane biting the dust. They put too much into the Trundle, and he just lives. The King's tribute was paid, and Gumayushi for some reason died. And Kanavi does his shenanigans with the Rift Herald. That should spell the end of this outer turret in the mid lane.
Yeah,
2-for-1 in the end.
There. He took a ton of turret damage, but actually you didn't see how Ruler got the kill on him there.
Canyon may kill Zeus, and yes, he does.
All right, well, that was a pretty tricky move. Just ult on top of the Rumble. No, damn it, sorry, only once a year.
I put mine away as well. I'm normally really tardy, but not this time.
It's actually much weaker on leap years because you get one extra day where it's not possible.
Do it there.
This is a Dragon setup here for Gen.G that's very difficult to crack. Hanwha have no vision.
Yep. Ruler has so much range as well as Delight goes in once again, but his health bar is just missing. Gets the pulverize onto Chovy though. That's the turn that they're looking for, but the cow is just going to go down. The Seraph Shield, massive here as Chovy's looking relatively safe, and Ruler is just terrifying. HLE now 4 versus 5, and Zeka is in the front line, not where he wants to be. As the hook is going to go wide, Boomerang Blade also not finding the mark, as Ruler finding himself in a very good position. that moonshot. My God. Obsidian Cleaver.
Yes.
Is, I believe, what the name was.
Guma has the highest damage in the game. See if that can continue his Duro.
Yeah, that is going to be Zeka getting flayed back. Does have the Ghost, though, so he should be able to catch back up again. Good bellows breath there from Keen, but he just searingly charges out of the way of the land because he can cut through this on, especially after he gets subjugated. As Chovy, he will decide to take the turret down.
He's like, Chovy, please take the turret.
Yeah, Kanavi's like, come on, man, no, come back. Seeing some buttons, but wait,
Atlas,
hang on.
They're just going to try to do Baron here.
I guess.
I think
Gen.G may just get the soul, and then they can probably ult Canyon in if they do want to try and contest for this.
I don't know about this one, Hanwha. Very risky.
Yeah, they get the information here as Canyon's going to press that button. The train going to leave the station as well. As in goes the Pantheon. It's going to be a 50-50 as he can take the Lantern as well. He's into the pit, and there's the steal for Canyon. The hook goes wide yet again, but the cow is mincemeat, and Canyon's still alive for such a long time. Chovy stopping the retreat here as he's just slithering out the back of the pit, but that is still a couple of kills. Petrifying Gaze catches Guma. He does use the spell shield pretty well, but Zeka's so close to dead, and Ruler says good night to the rest of HLE, and probably sends them home from the LCK Cup.
It looks like Keen goes, but then Chovy just says, we didn't just steal a Baron, we won the game. Watch this.
Yeah. He saw that angle, and getting that one Twin Fang was almost enough for Guma, but then Ruler was still alive, so he's dead.
너 뭐야? 맛있는데?
And for Ruler, like right now, they're missing 2,000 gold because he just hasn't pressed the button.
Yeah, it's
right.
kind of
He's
crazy.
level 16.
Yeah, he also like gave it to Pantheon.
Yeah, because he was like right there. Keen is now going to give one to Ruler. There we go. And now gives one to Chovy. Finally. Okay, there's that upgraded Infinity Edge. We are going to see... Okay, never mind. That is just... Okay, just gets out. Sometimes you just press R and everything is A-okay. Chovy didn't actually get his item, though. You just need to win. That's the main thing. Is Canyon, who's looking at the bottom lane, did get interrupted, but still just, yeah. He's out.
There are 5 people on me, and they got a realm warp. Things have changed here.
Well, now the train is going to come on through. Maybe this is the last call. As there's the hook back. And the Trundle is just dead before he can do anything at all. Canyon takes the Lantern Ride to get himself to safety. These ricochets.
20 seconds, maybe the flip angle, and the one team fight from that could get Hanwha the win in time. It could happen.
Yeah, Grand Starfall is actually not available as Canyon did manage to stop the back. The play is so good, though, to deny. Petrifying Gaze doesn't do the most work, but Keen gets to Gumushi into the backline, but he does flash his way out. The problem is, though, his range is too low. It's a triple kill for Ruler, and Gumushi cannot do anything by himself in this bottom lane with an angry conductor looking to take him down. Breathe some fire. Look at that skin. Isn't it just fantastic? As Keen will be able to demonstrate it one more time in the POM view that we will get later on today.
I don't know. It's crazy. Keen got his first career Penta, and yet my vote finger still kind of gets drawn to the support vote again here.
Oh, and we have the dangerous double support English desk as well at the space. Oh dear, Ruler almost dies to that turret, but it's looking like that 3-0 that everyone was dreading. And HLE, this was their final game at the LCK Cup. Gen.G will send them home early and save the lives of the pros.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.